In this video, we will discuss Register Approval Line function of eApproval module. In Groupware, eApproval, Compose Draft menu, you can set up your company's approval lines and then load them each time you create a new draft. If you use the same approval line each time you submit an eApproval document, you can register the approval line in advance and then simply load it by clicking the magnifying glass, and you will not have to manually enter each approver. Then we will practice how to register an approval line. In Compose Draft menu, click on Existing Template and click the magnifying glass of Approval Line field. Then click New at the bottom. You can first enter the name of the approval line, and by double-clicking on each field, enter the approvers. And you can also mark their position on the right field. And use Tier 1 and 2 of approval lines. You can also set the shared users and CC users for this approval line at the bottom. And once you have loaded approvers, you can set their approval type on the right. Approval type is a function which allows you to set for each approver how to run the approval process. To set up, double-click on the field, and you can either select one of the displayed types or click New to register a new approval type. First, enter the type code and name as you wish. Then, in Time of Accessibility field, set when to allow the approver to view the submission. If you select Always, regardless of the order of approver, the user will be able to view the submission in Track Request menu. And if you select Only when it's my turn option, the submission will appear in Track Request menu only when it's the corresponding user's turn of approval. Next, in Range of Approvability field, select whether to allow wrap-up or bypass approver to the approver. For example, if a submission's first approver is A and its second approver is B, with bypass approver, A approver can fully approve the submission before B approves, and vice versa. With wrap-up approval, approver B can fully approve the submission before A approves, and both bypass and wrap-up approval will finish the approval process. Next, in Status When Rejected field, when the approver rejects the submission, select whether to finish the submission's approval process or whether to continue. Next, in Bypass Wrap-Up Notification Status field, if the corresponding approver completes the submission's approval by either bypass or wrap-up approval, select whether to add to CC the approvers whose approval has been skipped. If you select Add as CC option, the skipped approvers will be able to view the submission in Track Request in Progress tab. And if they click Complete Review button at the bottom, then the submission will go to CC tab at the top right. And lastly, Approval Line Display Name field is where you can set the name that will be displayed in the approval line box for the approver's approval. Once you have saved the approval line, it will appear in the list. And later when you create a new submission, you can load the registered approval line. And so far, we have discussed how to set up an approval line that will be shared in your company. In addition to that, each user can register an approval line only for their own use. In order to do so, in the same way, go to Approval Line field and click the magnifying glass and hover over New button at the bottom. Here you can use My Approval Line function to set up your own approval line. And after setting My Approval Line, the approval line will appear only to your own user ID, so please note.